A packed schedule has us recapping our Champions League semifinal game against Philly and away trip to San Jose, as well as a preview for our midweek U.S. Open Cup match against Monterey Bay on this LAFC Weekly. LAFC advanced to the Champions League Final versus León with a 3-0 thumping over Philadelphia midweek to take the series by an aggregate of 4-1. Because of the away goals rule, we could not afford to risk having a high-scoring draw and needed a win to secure our pass. Philly was determined to get some revenge from MLS Cup, and they would be very lucky that Bedoya did not get sent off with an early red, not even 2 minutes into the match. With such a tense game that felt like it could have gone either way, LAFC would waste no time getting on the scoreboard 13 minutes in, despite Andre Blake's spectacular save. Tillman would be in the right place at the right time to pounce on that clearance created by Elias' header. Philly would do their best to strike back quickly and would have a few chances, but would ultimately come up short. McCarthy was huge during this period, just like he was in the first leg. Philly forwards will have McCarthy nightmares for a while. There would be a few chances to extend the lead for us before the half, but they wouldn't materialize. We would go to the break with a 1-goal lead, but still not too comfortable, as Philly could still push the game to overtime with just 1 goal. The second half's tension would erupt in joy for the Black and Gold fam in the 59th minute when Bouanga would draw a second yellow card for Mbazio. Mbazio had been receiving praise for pocketing Bouanga in the MLS Cup final and most of leg 1 in this series, but Bouanga would get the best of him on this occasion. In any case, not much change in terms of goals. LAFC still wanted an insurance one, and Philly still needed their first. After some back and forth on close calls, Cifuentes, who came in as a sub, would create this play in the 82nd minute that Opoku would spectacularly finish thanks to Vela's vision. What a strike by Opoku. Gotta love his jutsu and Naruto run celebration too. Happy to see him getting back on the scoring sheet. It wouldn't end there though. In the 90th minute, Sifu would once again have a moment of brilliance, threading the needle through 4 defenders and putting the ball where only Bouanga could reach it, giving him the upper hand in his one-on-one with Blake. Bouanga would finish for the exclamation mark on the night and the 4-1 aggregate scoreline, securing LAFC's second Champions League final in our short history.
Yeah, we are ecstatic to be in the final of this competition. It's a competition that was highlighted on our calendar, as well as the MLS for sure, the first half of the season. And so far, we've accomplished the goals that we've set for ourselves, and there's one more to go. And I can share with you, the atmosphere in the locker room right now is obviously a happy one, but also a focused one and a hungry one. This team wants to win a final now.
First and foremost, congratulations to LAFC. I wish them the best in the final. It's a very strong team, a very strong opponent, where you have to be almost perfect to get a result, and we've learned that now through the years. So again, good luck to them in the final, and congratulations to my players. Again, thank you for everything that they've given during this competition. Again, to get to the Final Four of the best teams in this continent is an achievement. It doesn't end the way that we wanted it to end, but at the same time, I think we pushed LAFC in our building, pushed them in the first half. Had a couple pretty good chances, and against a great team like them, you have to be clinical. You can't make mistakes, and you certainly can't play down a man because they'll punish you. So yes, they beat us, but when you are critical of my team, please have the caveat, we got beat by arguably the best team in our league's history.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments from Jim, but I definitely don't agree. There's still a lot of work to be done to say that, and I think it's a lot of what I just mentioned. It's really focusing on what's next and not being happy with what we did tonight and not be happy with what we did the other night. There's always room for improvement, and from day one of last season, also this season, we made it very clear in the locker room that we're going to need every single player at any possible moment. And when it's your turn on the field, you have to give everything for LAFC and put LAFC in a position to win games. And it's about LAFC, and it's not about individuals, and it's not about a coach or a player or whoever. It's about this organization. And I think that message has been delivered loud and clear and implemented pretty much week to week by these players, which is fantastic. Yeah, we felt we had a much better grip on Philly with the double 6 and a 10 and the 3 attackers, putting a little more pressure on their backs. We thought out of our normal 4-3-3, it was too easy for them to progress the ball forward, to hit dangerous diagonals and vertical passes from their center backs. And so, the idea is to step up the pressure a little bit, add another player in your press. And that seemed to work. Most of their direct play then was contested and then not always clean. And so it gave our defenders a little bit of advantage and took a little sting out of their attack. So against this team, that's seemed to be the right fix. And so if it's working, why change it? Was sort of our ideas for tonight. Our performance in comparison to the other night, I think was in some ways, for me, I'd describe it as being a little more professional, better managed. The game was better managed. We had more control of the game and the ups and downs of the game. And I thought that's something we really wanted to improve on from the other night. And I think, I can say a job well done from the guys, and we're able to put the game on our terms and not Philly's like it was the other night.
We play León in the final, with León hosting the first leg on Wednesday, May 31st, and LAFC hosting the second leg at BMO Stadium on Sunday, June 4th. San Jose hosted us at Levi's Stadium, home of the San Francisco 49ers, and they wasted no time getting out in front. Their main star up front, Christian Espinosa, opened the scoring 8 minutes into the game with a cool finish to what honestly was a great build-up play. Almost everyone from the midfield up was involved in the play for them, and Espinosa had the calmness to just slot it under McCarthy. LAFC would continue to chip away and try to get back into the game, but it wouldn't be until the 30th minute that they would get their goal, thanks to a bogus shot that Marcinkowski could not handle correctly. Instead of pushing it past the post for a corner kick, he left a live ball, and with the defenders caught ball watching and Boanga's instincts for goal, he would find himself onside and first to the ball. It was an easy finish from there. That's now 8 goals in MLS so far for Denny. San Jose could have had another goal a minute after ours. Not sure how Monteiro missed this one. It looks honestly harder to miss that than to score. After that, we would have a number of chances before the end of the first half, but just no goals would come from those. In the second half, we would trade long-range shots with San Jose, the best one probably coming from Opoku doing his best Vela impression. Not a bad look, shame neither of those would end up in the back of the net. 80 minutes into the game, Maldonado would unfortunately be called for a penalty, and Christian Espinosa would send McCarthy the wrong way to give San Jose the lead. Not enough on our part to respond after the goal, and the score would remain 2-1 in favor for San Jose at the final whistle, officially stripping LAFC's undefeated status. We were the last to fall, and now there's no more undefeated teams in the league. Our record is now 5 wins, 1 loss, and 3 draws, good for 18 points and 3rd place, edging out San Jose, who are now tied on points with us, but have a goal difference of +1 to our +9. Espinosa also tied Boanga with 8 goals on the season for the Golden Boot race, but Boanga's done it with 2 games less. Get used to games in hand. We'll have a couple more on top of the 2 we already have because of the games we're moving because of Champions League. All these games in hand will result in brutal stretches of game after game after game. Dolo struck a pretty good balance in terms of squad rotation. Let's hope we can keep doing it and we can prevent injuries from happening, especially leading up to that Champions League final. We're going to need everybody healthy.
I thought the performance was okay. It looked, to me, a little bit mentally and physically fatigued in the moments where the game is decided. That's in the final thirds. And I think that was what we saw, the difference. I think we were in control. It's certainly a game you shouldn't lose. But we did, and it's because of in those few moments, those 2-3 moments, we weren't focused enough and didn't work hard enough and didn't follow the rules defensively, and we were punished. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Our next opponent will be Monterey Bay from the USL Championship in the US Open Cup's round of 32. They actually knocked out San Jose out of the tournament in the third round of the competition to get to this game, so they shouldn't be taken lightly. Most MLS teams entered in the third round. We didn't play in that because the 8 highest ranked MLS teams got a bye and are entering a round later in this round of 32. In terms of form, in their last 3 games, Monterey Bay have 2 draws and 1 win, with the most recent being a 2-2 draw at home to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Monterey Bay came back twice in that game, including a dramatic stoppage time equalizer to earn a point, so it's fair to say they have some fight in them. They sit 6th in the West and have 3 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses. Frank Yallop is their manager. Some of you may recognize him from his time coaching several MLS teams in the past, including the Earthquakes, Carson, and he even coached the Canadian national team for a number of years. Their 3 main threats to highlight are forwards Alex Dixon with 7 goals and Christian Voleski with 4 goals and 3 assists, as well as midfielder Sam Gleadle with 2 goals and 3 assists. Between the 3 of them, they've been involved in 13 of their 16 goals. That's all for this episode. Check back later this week for a recap of our US Open Cup game and a preview of our league clash at Real Salt Lake.
Stay posted.